Some people hear the word competitive intelligence and it evokes some clandestine image of someone sneaking around a competitor's facility in the middle of the night. In reality, nothing illegal is being suggested here. Moreover, competitive intelligence is exactly that, knowing what you need to do in order to be more competitive. While this involves grasping what competitors are doing, it also includes understanding the impact of channel suppliers, internal company forces, customers, external market forces, as well as core and peripheral stakeholders. I'd like you to read the case pertaining to Venturi Industries, and at the heart of this, there's a question regarding accounting policy. I've seen this kind of thing in many situations. The effort that people are focused on might be legitimate, but it's serving almost as a distraction. The actual competitiveness is impacted by a host of other factors. It's sometimes like someone who's suffering a major medical ailment focusing their efforts on when they should get their next haircut. In this unit, I'll be applying the major dimensions for competitive success to this product, the oxygen catabolizer. As part of this module, you're asked to read the case pertaining to Venturi Industries and consider some of the assigned questions. The rationale for this is that it will help to provide a context for the material. In the slides provided, we'll consider a number of different elements pertaining to competitive intelligence, including the company, channel members, customers, competitors, core stakeholders, and the context itself. In the Venturi Industries case, you're given fairly simple instructions. If you are faced with this situation, well, what would you do? The instructions given were kept fairly generic, and this is not atypical of what many consultants face, a seemingly narrow issue, but the problems extend well past those being considered by the managers in question. Although a consultant would want to try to answer questions pertaining to accounting as presented in the case, after all, that's why they were called in, but a good consultant would be pointing the way to a more extensive understanding of factors that will impact competitive success. When people first hear the term competitive intelligence, it often implies something slightly murky from an ethical perspective, but nothing illegal is being suggested here. Some people like to use the term competitive intelligence rather than market research because it provides a more holistic approach. Techniques from traditional market research are still relevant. The goal, though, is to realize that there's more at play than simply the end user. Moreover, competitive intelligence is more than just understanding competitors per se. It considers the entire competitive landscape, all those areas where a firm may act to enhance its competitive abilities. In this diagram, we see the 6 C's represented: upstream and downstream channel partners, the company itself, core stakeholders such as shareholders and the government, competitors, customers, and the context within which this occurs. Thinking of this broader perspective, you can see that there are many different dimensions on which Venturi would be particularly weak. They are not just facing an accounting issue, they are facing a number of critical elements on each of these different levels that will impact their competitive success. In order to have an impact on the channel partners, customers, and so forth, a company has a number of levers that they can pull to affect change. These are often known as the marketing mix. Traditionally, people have listed these as the 4 Ps, consisting of product, price, place, and promotion. As you'll see on the next slide, we will be considering this from an expanded perspective. While the 4 Ps are easy to remember, they're not as specific as they could or should be. Instead, I'll be using 7 different levers: products, services, brand identity, price, personnel, channel selection, and communication. Each of these, in turn, may be used to have an impact on one or more of the 6 key groups: the company, channel partners, customers, competitors, core stakeholders, or the context as a whole. At this point, there are a number of options available to you. First, you could just read through the complete deck of PowerPoint slides regarding competitive intelligence. In these, each of the different components are considered, along with how this would pertain to the Venturi industry case. Additional suggestions are also provided with respect to what type of information would be particularly relevant and where you can find it. Alternatively, if you really like watching videos, you can watch the full-length competitive intelligence video. This is the same as the complete slide deck regarding competitive intelligence, but it also includes a voiceover. Regardless of which option you take, do familiarize yourself with this bigger picture. It will expand your perspective of what is important, as well as your strategic focus.